Welcome to another Key Factor tutorial. I'm Sven, and today we're going to look at configuring EJBCA to have an ephemeral CA where we can issue device certs or whatever type of ephemeral certs we need. In my use case for this one, I was thinking about a zero trust environment where I want to issue certs for 2 to 3 weeks lifetime, but still be able to revoke them and validate that they're revoked with OCSP. That way I could block network access if the certificate was revoked. So let's go in and hop into the tutorial and see how we would do this with EJBCA. So we'll start at the shell here. We're going to SSH over to my VM where I've got Docker installed. This is the VM we've used in previous tutorials. And we're going to CD over to the containers directory. And we need to edit the Docker compose. We've got to check two things in this file. So if we could spell Vim right, here we go. Whoops, still there. So the first thing we need to do is add another environment variable. We're going to add the OCSP non-existing is good equals true. That way, since the certs aren't in the database, we can answer good. And we need to make sure we're at the EJBCA 831, which can use this setting. So then we'll save and close the file. And then let's start it. So Docker compose up space -d. Starting the database in our EJBCA. And then we can go take a look at the logs to see that the new environment variable took effect with what we did. Let's scroll up top to the beginning of the log because that's where we'll see the output, and right there. So we can see now that it'll respond good when receiving an OCSP request for non-existing certificates in the database. So we'll let this start up. All right, it started up. We can stop Logtail, and let's go to the web browser and go to admin web. Ooh boy. All right, you can see the new UI. Not a huge fan of it. You got to click twice to do anything in it, but we'll get through it. Stay with me here. All right, crypto tokens. We're going to activate our root CA since we're going to subordinate our ephemeral CA to that. So we'll type in the foo123 and then click activate. Then let's click the create new, and we'll call it the ephemeral sub CA. We're going to use a soft token, auto activate our wonderful password of the foo123, foo123. Then we can click save. Then let's add 001 to the end of the sign key. And then we will choose the P256 for the key size. So we'll do an elliptic curve, generate a new key pair. Then we will swap the word sign for default for our default key. Click generate. Last key we need is our test key, so we'll take off the 001 and swap out default for the word test. And generate. There, we've got our keys. Now we need to hop over to certificate profiles. So we'll click on CA function, certificate profiles, 2 clicks again, yay. We need to clone the my PKI sub CA profile. So if I can locate it, there it is, it's hiding on me. Clone. And we're going to call it the ephemeral sub CA 2 year. So we'll just make a 2-year ephemeral sub CA. Let's go edit this profile. The only things we're going to change in this one should be the hashing. We'll just explicitly set it to SHA-256 with ECDSA. And let's change the validity down to 2 years to match what we put in the cert profile name. So 2Y. We can go down and click the save button. The next thing we want to do while we're here is to clone the short-lived profile. So it should be alphabetical order. There it is. Clone. And we'll call this ephemeral MTLS 14-day. So we'll create it, and let's go edit this profile. Again, we'll just change the hashing algorithm to explicitly be SHA-256 with ECDSA. Change this to 14D for the 14-day lifetime. Scroll down, and we need to set the subject alt name to critical since we won't have a subject DN. Anton had pointed that out to me that I was not compliant with RFC 5280 last time, so thanks, Anton. Then we need to use the CA-defined OCSP locator, so we'll have the OCSP URI in our issued certs. We're going to go down and just do any CA since the sub-CA hasn't been created yet, and we'll click save. Cool. Then we got a profile, we got a crypto token. Let's go over and create a CA. So we'll click on the CA functions and certificate authorities, and down in our add CA box, we'll type the ephemeral sub CA-G1. So we'll click create. We'll select our crypto token that we previously just did. There we go, keys auto associate, nice and easy. The next part, let's do the policies here. So we'll uncheck the user storage and uncheck the user certificate storage, and then we'll check to allow non-revoking for existing. the 14-day. We're not going to use the append only table. If we do that, it'll only put them in the table for CRL generation, and OCSP won't work. Let's set our subject DN. Good, we got that. We'll do the sign by the root CA. Our new profile we did for the ephemeral 2-year. We'll do 2Y for the validity. Uncheck the LDAP DN order. There we go. And the only thing we need to scroll down now is set the OCSP URI. So let's paste that URL into the box. There we go. And HTTP because we want to do revocation over non-TLS. And we'll click create. Next, we need to hop over under the RA functions to the entity profile. So as I lose my way in the menu here, there we go. Select the entity profile. And then we're going to select the short-lived. We'll down in the box, we'll type the ephemeral MTLS and we'll click the clone selected. Then we can select our new profile, the edit, and we'll scroll down. What we want to do here is remove the URI since we're going to do device certs with DNS. So we remove this subject alt name by clicking the box here. We'll click the remove button. It's gone. Bye-bye. And now we'll add a DNS subject alt name. So we click that guy, add. And then we want to just do required for the DNS name, so it has to be at least one DNS. Then we will update the certificate profile to only be the ephemeral 14-day, the ephemeral MTLS 14 days. So we select those, and then our default CA and available CA will be our new ephemeral CA. So we select those. We're only going to use user-generated since we're submitting P10s for this, and then we're going to click Save. So now we've got the crypto token, our CA, and our identity profiles all set, and cert profiles. So let's go to the command line. So we'll hop back over here, and we're going to CD up one directory to our REST curl directory, which we'd used in a previous tutorial for using the REST API. We can see that we've got our PKCS10 enroll script, which is available in the Keyfactor community GitHub repo. And now we'll make an OpenSSL conf. So we're just having a DNS name in there for this. And then we need to generate a P256 key. So we make our key. We need to make our CSR with the OpenSSL conf and the key. So now we can do a list, and we can see that we've got the conf, a CSR, and a key. We're ready to enroll. So now we'll use the PKCS10 enroll script to enroll for our certificate. And there we go. So we have the DIR one and the other one there ready to go. Let's take a look at it with OpenSSL, and we can see we've got a 14-day certificate. Perfect. The next thing we need to do is pull down the CA chain for the OCSP check. So we've used REST API to pull the chain. Let's copy that sub CA blob and paste that into a file. So we'll highlight that, guys, copy, and we'll do the vim ephemeral, or actually sub-ephemeral.crt for our sub CA. And we'll paste that blob in here, and then we'll save it and close. Then we'll select our root blob and copy that. We're going to call the next one root.crt. Paste that blob in here, save and close. Now we're going to cat the sub CA into a chain file like this. So we'll do cat and paste it in there, and then append the root into that. So we have the chain file that's used for this OCSP check. We're ready to do the check. So let's paste that in there, and voila, OCSP good for the cert not in the database, which is what that new setting did that in the environment variable when we started it. Let's get the serial number now. Okay, we've got that to a variable, and we'll revoke REST API. Awesome, we revoked it, that simple. Let's do an OCSP check now. And we are revoked. So this is how we can do the ephemeral cert with not being in the database, but still being able to revoke and have it there to block network access. Let's take a look at what that looks like in the logs. So run the docker logs command for the EJBCA container. We'll scroll up, and here we can see where we had the CSR come in for the cert request. Then we have the cert issued. We have the OCSP check that had come in, and then we see our revocation that happened. There, nice and easy to set this up. Pretty cool how simple it is that we could create an ephemeral CA to issue certs for devices that would be 14 days, not have to have any bloat in our database, and still be able to revoke to block network access if we need to. If you got any questions or comments, leave them on the video or come over to the EJBCA community discussions on GitHub and ask any questions, or give us any feedback if you want other videos. We'd love to hear from you. Have a great one and take care.